What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 137 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. Sup, dude?
Not a whole lot. You sound a whole lot better than last week.
Yes, I am on antibiotics now. I tested negative for COVID. I tested negative for the flu. And they're like, hey, your blood pressure's really high. I'm like, I'm not here for blood pressure. I'm here because I can't breathe. Like, well, you should talk to your doctor about your blood pressure. I'm like, okay,
sure.
Thanks. so
like, I'm also sick and can't keep up with stuff, so blood pressure's probably going to be high anyway.
This is the same, I went to the clinic, not the hospital, but the same, medical group that my surgery cut me open and went, nah, you're fine, and then sewed me back up. So,
I left the metal in your leg, yeah.
Really, really satisfied with my immediate health care. It's great. But at least I can have health care, I guess is one way to look at it.
Yeah.
And it, yeah, sure. So that's my week.
I've just been working. That's all I've done.
Yeah, I also have been working, and work has been fine this week. Nothing overly exciting. But what are we doing today? Before I go on another tangent.
We're going to be doing the way too early Scarlet and Violet tier list for VGC.
Good. No better time. I
have this nice thing made up. We're going to use it. There's, I think I included all leaked Pokemon just because we aren't 100% sure what the dex is, and it's fun to speculate about stuff like this. There will be almost no new Pokemon, brand new Pokemon. Farigiraf somehow ended up in the image binder that got uploaded to the tier list, so it's in here.
But yeah, we probably won't talk about it because we don't really know anything about it other than, hey, it exists.
We know its abilities and things like that.
Yeah, we don't know base stat totals or move pool or anything else yet, so all that is pure speculation. And granted, a lot of this is going to be speculation today. Big spoiler warnings up top. We're going to be talking about Pokemon that have not officially been announced but are speculatively going to be in the game. So if you're not interested in listening to that, please step away now. We thank you for your time and effort, and we will see you next week. So that being said,
cue the ad.
Yeah.
You have till the ad ends to get out of here. Go. Okay.
All right, cool. So, good ad break.
So, we got this awesome tier list to work on.
Yeah, huge shout outs to you for putting this together because my work life has been absolutely miserable and I haven't even thought about doing this until you're like, hey, I put this together like we talked about. I'm like, oh yeah, we did. So,
yep.
I guess you said you have these in dex order, so I guess we just start at the beginning.
Yeah, we just start at the top and work our way down at this point.
Cool, sounds great to me.
So, Charizard.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really good. Now, the things that make it really good usually are the gimmicks, right?
It has had a lot of help.
The two megas.
Generations, yeah. Both megas being very viable in their own degree. Of course, we are going to be talking about these in context of doubles. So this is going to be VGC centric and not just hey, this Pokemon's good in singles. Why didn't you mention that? And be like, well, we don't talk about singles. So really, it kind of depends on what returning mechanics are added. But even if none are added, I think Charizard is still very good as a Sun abuser. We know that Torkoal is in the game. We know that if we do get access to any of the previous mechanics, maybe that be Megas or whatever, Charizard's Y is very powerful, being able to set its own sun. Yeah, Charizard's very good. It's one of the best Sun abusers. It has a very good speed stat. It has a very good special attack stat. Its move pool is very good, and adding in terrestrialization makes it even better because you can make it mono flying, and suddenly your 4 times weakness to rock is gone. You still gain your immunity to ground. You can there's a lot going on. You can change to grass type, and now suddenly you are still resistant to ground. You're now resistant to water. There's a lot you can do with Charizard that like I'm going to be more looking at things in like a sense of like what the Pokemon does on its own, and like kind of ignoring the idea of terrestrialization as a whole. There are going to be specific instances where we do actually talk about it, where it's going to be very impactful, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But as a whole, it's just like, hey, this applies to every Pokemon, so you can talk about it on every Pokemon and how it's viable.
And we don't want to be here for 10 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're going to try to bust this out in like an hour and a half, like our normal episodes are. And if we talk about every single Pokemon in extreme detail, then we're going to be here forever. So
yeah,
Charizard's like an easy A. Depending on how like the rest of the dex looks and like what mechanics can return, I can easily see this being an S tier Pokemon.
Yeah.
Charizard gets a lot of love because it's really good, and I could see them being like, oh yeah, by the way, there's special terrestrialization forms, and by the way, Charizard gets 3 of them.
Yeah, like we don't know the full extent of like the gimmick and things like that yet, but just like in the general sense from terrestrialization, Charizard's a great benefactor. Most of these Pokemon with a 4 times weakness are going to be perfect candidates for terrestrialization and just abusing the heck out of it. You mentioned terrestrializing into a grass or a flying type. Like, I'm in the camp of you can just terrestrialize into a ground type. You don't care as much about your water weakness when the sun is out, and so yes, you're still going to be weak to water, but you are immune to electric. You resist rock, which are going to be the 2 big things they're going to be looking to hit you with anyway. And being able to hit those Pokemon that probably have stab electric or stab ground moves coming at you to start with is a great way to just abuse the fact that you can use that terrestrialization very well.
So for the sake of like transparency, I currently have Showdown pulled up on my second monitor with the like national dex tier like list pulled up, so like I can check Pokemon on there. So there's a lot of moves that obviously are no longer like legal on Pokemon. So like if I do mention those that are no longer legal in Gen 8, that doesn't mean they're not going to be legal in the future. Because like evidently at one point Charizard had access to Tailwind, and I didn't know that, and that's really cool.
That was a Gen 7 tutor thing.
Yeah, probably. That would make sense. But yeah, like the fact that now Charizard has access to like terrestrialization, like Terra Blast grass type or whatever, and you're able to pick off these rock types that you otherwise struggle with. You can have like Terra Ice and like be able to do the same thing. Obviously, probably not, because then you're still weak to rock, and you want to avoid that if at all possible. So like the fact that you can Terra into a type that matches up well against the opposing types while still being able to pressure them appropriately is very good.
Yeah.
That can be said like with like a lot of Pokemon. So again, kind of blanket statement. The mechanic is really cool. We don't know a lot about it. We're gonna probably talk about it more specifically when certain Pokemon need it.
Looking at you, Hydreigon.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get there when we get there.
Raichu.
Raichu is cool. I really, really hope that they bring back like Follow Me Raichu. I know it was an event only thing, but I really hope at some point they do, because looking at the list of available Pokemon currently, we don't have a lot of redirectors. And like the ones that we do have are typically just like Rage Powder Mons.
Mm-hmm.
Like true Follow Me users are very few and far between in what we currently know as the format. So being able to introduce ones that have had it previously, I think could be very beneficial for this format.
The big things here is like we just came out of a format where Follow Me was very, very good. And I think not having a bunch of Follow Me users would be nice, because then you get to see certain Pokemon kind of thrive instead of the format becoming very centralized, like we saw early on Series 2 and 3 with like Togekiss and Indeedee kind of being like on every single team. That being said, Raichu is still no slouch. Like Fake Out, Nuzzle, very, very fast. I was looking through trying to figure out like what's faster than Raichu, and like Persian is on this list. Is that it coincides with this one? Electrode.
Gengar's not, right?
Gengar is tied, speed tied. Okay. 110. But like Persian's at 115. I should say Cantonian Persian.
No, Chomp is 90, right?
Chomp is 102.
That's right. Yeah.
Um,
Charizard's 100?
Charizard is
Yes.
base 100. Greninja's base 122, which Greninja's way down here somewhere.
Dragapult as well.
Yep, Dragapult's faster, but if you're like decently fast on Raichu, you're not really gonna have to worry about too terribly much.
It also looks like, just based on what we're talking about, the fastest fake out user as well.
Persian's still
Oh
faster.
yeah. We literally just mentioned that.
Weavile's also on this list and also faster still too.
Oh yeah, duh. But hey, fast fake out is still very good.
Did Greninja get fake out? Is that something it got? Please tell me it didn't.
No.
Thank goodness.
It gets feint attack.
Yeah, that's what the one.
That's the closest I got.
That's the one it gets. It's not fake out. Cool.
It's really close.
I'm glad it doesn't. But back to Raichu here. Fast Nuzzle's really good. Fast Fake Out's really good. Lightning Rod's really great. Especially if people with like these levitate mons like Hydreigon terrastalize into an electric type to essentially have 0 weaknesses and then try to Terra Blast you. This Raichu is going to be really strong. But beyond that, I think it's like a high B. Because, like I said, it's not the fastest fake out user in the format. There are definitely much faster things out there. Certain things will probably get higher priority over it, but definitely is a very strong option, I think, going into VGC.
Agreed. Wigglytuff kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's kind of the downside here. Is like Wigglytuff has competitive, but
it's also very slow. It's also like its typing's not all that great. Jigglypuff gets friend guard, so that's cool.
Yeah, Jigglypuff's a little bit better. Wigglytuff just doesn't fit a lot of stuff. That doesn't do a whole lot.
I think this is probably easy D tier, and just like it doesn't do a lot. It kind of sucks, unfortunately.
It just doesn't do enough in this format. It's also like, isn't its base stats
bad?
Like real bad.
140, 70, 45.
Yeah.
85, 50, 45.
Yeah, not very good.
Yeah, its bulk is really dependent on its HP, and it's not able to take hits. It's not able to really dish out a lot of damage, and it's too slow to really be able to take hits too.
There's a reason people play Eviolite Jigglypuff in these like low power draft formats,
or like even just like Focus Sash. Yeah.
Yep. Venomoth. This thing is interesting. This is something
Venomoth is really cool. It has 3 relevant abilities in Shield Dust, Tinted Lens, and Wonder Skin. Which Wonder Skin is a very cool ability that I don't know how many other Pokemon get.
Yeah.
It's Venomoth, Bruxish, Delcatty, Sigalith.
Yeah.
So like real slim pickings. I would not be surprised if no one has ever seen this ability. Status moves that have accuracy checks have a 50% accuracy against this Pokemon.
Yeah.
Meaning that opposing like spores are now 50% as opposed to 100%.
Correct.
Like it's really impactful. Shield Dust means that you never get fake out. Like there's a lot of things that really are beneficial with Shield Dust. Tinted Lens means that you can be an offensive pressure with a base 90 special attack, means that you can like bug buzz a lot of things. Yeah. You also, I believe, get access to Rage Powder, which is super cool.
You do, yep. Rage Powder has been something that Venomoth has been doing for a very long time.
You get Sleep Powder, potentially Tailwind. I think Tailwind was a Gen 7 move tutor move. But again, this isn't a Pokemon we have in Sword and Shield, so we don't really know a lot about it. Sleep Powder, Quiver Dance. Its coverage is really good. Again, this is another Pokemon that kind of benefits from like Terra typing. You can change it to be like Psychic type, be able to pressure your opponent a lot that way with like Stab Psychics at that point. Mm-hmm. Even just like Stab Bug Buzzes are going to hit basically everything, especially with Tinted Lens then. This thing I think is actually pretty okay.
Yeah, like
I'm not going to say it's good because its bulk still is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But this is like a really good replacement for Butterfree in my opinion.
Yeah, this is like the solid what C tier Pokemon look like.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
there'll be people who will play it because it's Venomoth and it's their favorite Pokemon, and that's fine. But you're not going to see it on 30% of the VGC teams running around. We might be wrong at this point, but I really don't
I would
think
like to be. I think Venomoth is really cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see it like that. But like if it doesn't have access to Tailwind.
Oh my god, dude. Terra typing means that anything can become a grass type and therefore immune to Rage Powder.
Yeah.
Holy cow, this is just something I hadn't even thought of. That means like Prankster is really downplayed as well. This is really awkward.
Terra types make it really interesting.
Oh my gosh. Just these aren't things I have even considered yet.
Yep. Welcome to new games. It's gonna be great.
This is so cool. Ductrio's really Ductrio does the same thing it always has. It's like a fast bulldoze user. It procs a policy. It traps opponents in. This is like a solid C type. If it can do things and it does those things okay. Yeah. It's also absurdly fast. So there's that too.
Yeah.
But this is also a stereotypical sash holder. It can take one hit. It really doesn't ever want to see an opposing fake out user. But now that we have I want to say protective pads, and I know that's not right.
Cloak?
Yes. Having this thing be immune to fake out is actually kind of interesting. So you can always just get your bulldoze off on turn 1 and do your weakness policy shenanigans or whatever.
Yep.
I do think this is pretty okay. Yeah. I think C tier is pretty accurate.
Alolan Persian, and on that same scale, Persian.
I think regular Persian's probably a C. Yeah, I think you have this right. Alolan Persian's probably a B type. Having fur coat's really good. Having just insane bulk because of it's very good. Kanto Persian. Do they both get access? They both get access to fake out, correct?
Yeah, they both get their move pool's pretty much identical. Outside of a few differences between one being a Gen 1 Pokemon and the other one not.
Their base stats are the exact same minus 10 points in their attack versus special attack.
Mm-hmm.
Both are base 115. Alolan Persian, I would say, is strictly better because it does have access to Fur Coat, so it has essentially a base 120 defense, which is absurd.
Yeah.
Especially if you do Fur Coat plus Assault Vest, you can do beat up strats with this thing. Which I don't know if we have I know we have Gallade as a potential justified mon.
Gallade, Lucario,
I forgot
Arcanine.
Lucario and Arcanine. So between Assault Vest and Fur Coat, you can make this thing absurdly bulky. The problem is if you're doing that, you don't have any kind of recovery. I don't know. I think this thing's really cool. You also, if you're doing that, you also lose access to Parting Shot, which I think can be really impactful.
Yeah, Parting Shot's why this thing is really good, right?
Yeah, but you get Fake Out, you get beat up, you can do knockoffs things, and then this last slot you can do Burning Jealousy maybe.
We aren't sure if Burning Jealousy is going to be in the next games or not.
That's
since
true.
It was a tutor move for IOA, but
could be Icy Wind as well.
Icy Wind's a very common move on that last slot there. I don't remember.
We're just kind of throwing out ideas here, see what sticks.
Yeah,
I think both Persian forms can be pretty okay. Unfortunately, Kanto Persian is just never really done anything impactful. It's better than Wigglytuff, so that it has that going, but past that, yeah.
The big things for Kanto Persian is its abilities aren't that great, and that's kind of the difference maker here. Since the stats are pretty much the same, the difference maker is what do the abilities do. And in the case of Persian, Limber, Technician aren't that great. Unnerve is really good, but the fact that Fur Coat just makes you a monster, and you are Dark type, so you are immune to opposing Prankster is really good. There's a lot that Persian Alolan has going for it over just the Cantonian version.
Agreed.
Golduck. I know we used this thing before in Sword and Shield to somewhat great effect, but
It's fine.
I don't know if it's going to be like a top tier Pokemon.
It is not the best rain sweeper. It does have access to Cloud9, which is interesting. Like if weather is popular with Torkoal, Tyranitar, Pelipper being in the game, there's a non-zero chance that like weather is very impactful. Sandaconda as well is like another sand setter in a sense.
I was going through trying to see how many Swift Swim users we have. It's not that many.
Yeah, in all actuality, it's really not. But at the same time, I'm sure there's going to be a better Swift Swim user.
Oh, we hope, right?
And like, if not, just stab water from like any other water type is probably just also fine.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is now you can like Terra type into a water type on anything, and suddenly it's a viable rain Pokemon.
Exactly.
So, like, congratulations, Sudowoodo is now on a rain team. Like, these are things that you technically can do. It's probably not good, but you can do it.
Man, imagine turning your Swift Swimmers into ground types. So you can
Hell yeah.
avoid, because they're going to bring the electric types to beat you, because that's the things that outspeed you. Oh, it'd be so hilarious. Primate.
I can't wait to turn things into like rock types and sandstorm teams, so you can just like get a special defense boost out of nowhere.
Just be super bulky, yeah.
I want Primate to be good, and it's probably not.
I don't know. So I don't remember.
There's a rumor running around that Primeape is going to get an evolution. Which, if that's the case, I think this goes up in viability because like Eviolite becomes that much like more like viable for it.
Yeah, like imagine Eviolite Defiant together. Like that is insane.
Like you are 105 attack is obviously very good. 60 and 70 on your defenses are fine. Like, obviously, you add an Eviolite and suddenly you have very good bulk. 95 speed is also very good.
Yeah, like, there's a lot going good for Primeape, especially if it becomes, like, this second stage Evo thing. But outside of that, if it doesn't get the evolution that we're expecting it to have, it's not that great.
Yeah, like, this is all talking in, like, theory, when in practicality, Primeape has, like, you can run, like, Scarf, and it's fine.
You can run Anger Point sets and just blow people up, or try to.
I mean, we have Frostlass, so, like, that's not the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But in reality, Primeape is still better than Wigglytuff.
Yeah, so. still better than Wiggly, that is true.
We might need another tier below D, so we can put Wigglytuff down there, and like, because it feels really bad to put things in D tier when in reality they probably should.
We'll have more D tier Pokemon here soon. Don't worry.
That's fair.
We're gonna have some more D tiers here in a little bit.
Arcanine is probably S tier.
Yeah, this is probably our first S tier. We aren't sure exactly like if there's changes to Intimidate or anything like that. There's been some speculation that there will be. But Arcanine does a lot more than just be an intimidator. Like we said, there's justified sets that can just sweep people because beat up's a thing. There's sets that you can just be bulky and annoying even without intimidate. Like this was budget Incineroar for Sword and Shield for a very long time. And if Incineroar, which currently isn't in this game, isn't, then Arcanine's going to be probably one of the best Pokemon in the format, even with the Intimidate changes.
Like, ignoring the fact that there could be, I still think just Arcanine is, like, probably the best Intimidator. I think the only thing that can even come close is Gyarados.
Salamence.
Salamence is good, but, like, having a 4x weakness is obviously very bad. Same with, like, Gyarados. Obviously, you have a mechanic to be able to fix that.
Staraptor.
Staraptor's also fine, it's just kind of frail. Luxray is, again, just kind of whatever.
I'm literally just going through and finding all the Intimidators, and there's a lot more. I thought that there's a lot more than I thought there were.
In all actuality, yeah, you are correct. There are more than I anticipated, but, like, comparatively, I still think Arcanine is the best one.
Yeah.
Give Viper Intimidate,
please. Please,
it wouldn't make
my
it
boy.
better. Like, it would make it better. It's still not good, though.
Give my boy, make it better, Arbok, please. Please.
Yeah, Arcanine's insane.
Yeah. Tentacruel.
Tentacruel's really good.
It's really cool. I wouldn't say it's really good. It's really cool.
I really like it.
That's because we got to do Dynamax things with it.
That's very true. Obviously, having access to Clear Body is a very good thing. Being a, like, bulky water type is also good. The fact that, like, you also are very fast at, what, 90?
Base 100.
Oh, is it also 100?
Yep, it's a base 100.
Oh! Yeah, like, 80 HP is good, 120 special defense is absurd, 65 defense is obviously not great. But, like, again, you can fix your problem to being, weak to ground by suddenly becoming a flying type. Like, these are things we're going to say for, like, everything.
Yeah, every like, if you take we're trying to take terrestrialization out of the comparison here because everything can terrestrialize. So it's always going to be an option for Pokemon.
But, like, there are definitely going to be Pokemon that are more viable to it.
Yeah, this is a very good exception, like, to that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the fact that, like, this is very physically frail, Earthquake is a very good, like, check to this. Suddenly you're immune to, like, Earthquake is kind of sick.
Yeah. Like, there's not that many physical electric moves out there. You can probably outpace most Ice-type Pokemon, so you ain't gotta worry about that.
And, like, most Ice types are also, like, special attackers.
Yeah.
Like, historically speaking, Ice is a special attacking stat.
Ice Beam and Blizzard, man.
Yep.
That's why they're the best ice moves.
All them. Yeah. I think Tinta's very good. I don't think it's on the same tier as Charizard. I could see that being, like, correct in the future based on, like, how the game actually plays out, but I do really I want to explore Tentacruel when it comes to this game. I think it's going to be something that is very exciting.
Agreed. Slowbro.
Slowbro's really good for singles.
Yeah, it's a really good singles Pokemon.
But again, we're not a singles podcast. You're very defensive. You're a very good Trick Room setter. You're a very good, like, Trick Room abuser. It's fine. That's about all I can say about Slowbro. It's fine.
Like, your defenses are really good. Your HP's really good. You just don't have anything pushing you to be, like, a monster. Slowbro Galar is not on this list because I couldn't get a good image for it, but it's kind of the same thing. It's just, like, it's not very good.
You know, I've said it in the past that Gyarados is probably the best, like, Pokemon for Nuzlocking purposes. I think Slowbro's, like, very close second, though.
Yeah,
Slowbro's... Like, in all actuality, it's really, really good.
Slowbro being extra bulky, having a really strong typing in Water Psychic, it's just a little bit on the weaker side compared to some other Pokemon.
Yeah, I think Slowbro's really good. The problem is like, this is a format based on pretty, like, early formats are very hyper offensive, and as a result, like, being this slow, bulky Pokemon's not the best thing, but in reality, it can have a place in the metagame. It's probably fine.
Yep. While we're on the topic of Slowbro, I'm just going to kind of slap Slowking next to it because the stats are pretty much identical.
Yeah, their defense and special defense are flipped.
That's it. Like, the move pool's the same. There's no real big difference between Slowbro and Slowking.
That's not true. Slowbro has a Mega.
Well, we don't have Megas.
Where it suddenly has a base 180 special defense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Muck.
Alolan Muck and Muck.
Alolan Muck is so good.
Regular
Muck is really terrible.
Yeah. It's
probably on the same tier as, like, Wigglytuff.
Yeah, this is where it was,
really
like,
bad.
where we're going to be getting into, like, Alolan Muck versus Muck, right?
Dude, it's insane to think, like, what a single secondary typing can do for a Pokemon.
Yeah.
It is absurd.
And it's also nice that you have, like, different abilities.
Like, having a relevant ability. Like, Poison Touch being your hidden ability as regular Muck and, like, a typical ability as Alolan Muck. Sure, like, that's the ability you want for, like, casual playthroughs. Gluttony is an absurd ability when it comes to competitive play. And, like, Power of Alchemy is not the dumbest ability I've ever heard.
Yeah. Power of
Um,
Alchemy is definitely very interesting for this kind of format. Um,
you can do some really dumb things where you give this thing levitate by like blowing up a partner Pokemon. Like if you blow up your um let's see, like wheezing, like obviously wheezing is not in the game, but like this is something you can do in like Nat Dex formats. You can blow up your wheezing and give your muck levitate, and suddenly it has no weaknesses whatsoever.
yeah.
Like that's really cool that you can
You
do
could
that.
give this thing huge power. Like that's a thing you
Yeah.
can do. If Misty Explosion is in the game, that is definitely a thing you can do with like a Zoomeril.
Yeah.
And just pass it over and just like, oh, well, now I have doubled this 105 base attack stat. What are you gonna do now?
And the fact that this is able to like effectively target down opposing fairy types by having a like decent a decent typing into it. Obviously it's a neutral as opposed to resisted, but it's still like really good. It's a base 105 attack. I remember when I played through Ultra Sun, I had this on my team and it just like was insane the entire time.
Yeah,
I loved Alolan Muck. And it was the
same.
first time I had ever used it.
Alolan Muck is definitely high on my list of Pokemon I'm excited to play with again.
For sure, for sure.
Cloyster.
It does shell smash things.
Yeah.
It's what it's always done. It does shell smash things. It has access to skill link.
It's
It's fine. It
It's
does the same thing it's always done.
Yep. Gengar. This is probably another one of these close to S A tier Pokemon.
The problem with Gengar is it's absurdly frail.
Yeah, like losing Levitate was needed, but unfortunate.
But now you can make it a flying type, Carl.
But then you lose all the benefits of the ghost typing.
Correct.
Like you
You
want to
gain
be a
lot
ghost
more
still.
weaknesses, and you lose all your good abilities. Like yeah, Gengar's probably fine. I don't know if I'd go it's probably more like B tier in my opinion.
I think Gengar's still like good in this format because it's just fast. It's immune to fake out. You still have really strong coverage, so like you can't really
They need
safely
to give it another ability. Curse Body just sucks.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you just basically don't have an ability is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back Mega Gengar. It'll be fine.
Give it Shadow Tag, you cowards.
Dude, evidently Mega Gengar is banned from like Nat Dex OU.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Who knew?
Um,
Shadow Tag's exactly what Gengar needs.
Hypno.
And, I don't know, man. It's probably okay.
I don't even know what Hypno does.
Insomnia, Forewarn, and a Focus. 85, 73, 70, 73, 115, 67.
Inner Focus is cool. I just don't think we do anything.
Let's see. I'm looking at its move pool.
You have Trick Room.
Yeah, we're a psychic type. We have access to Trick Room. We get Wish, which is cool. Thunder Wave, which is very cool. Screens, Foul Play, D-Gleam, Ally Switch, Belly Drum. Alright, now we're talking. Hold on.
Yeah,
The problem is we're too frail to, like, we're too slow to really abuse it.
I think this is another D Pokemon.
Yeah.
Not all
I'm
Pokemon are
out of
created
things
equal,
to
chat.
really, really, like, Hypno sucks, man.
Electrode and Hisuian Electrode.
Can this be Electrode from, like, Vintage White?
No, unfortunately.
Have you seen anything related to Vintage White?
No.
They make Electrode Steel Electric, and then give it like base 150 in both of its attacks.
Well, that's cool.
And like they made Zap Cannon a recoil move instead, so it's just absurd.
Goodness.
It's absolutely insane. In reality, it's like not good.
Yeah, regular Electrode's not very good. Like it's fast.
Hisuian Electrode.
Hisuian Electrode, on the other hand, is actually probably pretty decent. being that you are electric and grass, so your ground weakness is gone. You gain weaknesses to bug and fire, and fly, but you're still like neutral to flying, so it's whatever.
If static as an ability, you get access to foul play, evidently, which is cool. 150 speed, 80 special attack is fine. You get discharge, so like you're the fastest discharge user probably by a pretty significant margin. Being grass type is really interesting because then you have like, I don't know, like the problem is like it's not even legal in.
Yeah, we don't know enough about it, but going from what like you can get off of home and things like that, it's interesting to say the least.
Yeah, this is a really fast volt switch user, which obviously is better for like single usage, but like volt switch is still a very good attack.
Yep.
You're obviously like insanely faster, like Thunder Wave. If this thing had access to like Electro Web, I'd be pretty in love with it. It does get Eerie Impulse.
It might get access to Electro Web in the next game. We don't know yet.
Yeah, it gets Sonic Boom. Does that do anything for you?
No.
All right, I'm off it.
Tauros.
All right, Tauros I think is really dependent on like if the potential regional forms of this are real. There is talk that like Tauros has access to like three new forms, all of which have different typings.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here to talk about because we don't know anything about those. Tauros as a whole has Intimidate, Sheer Force, both of which are very good abilities. Base 100 attack, 110 speed. Not your bulk is good at 75, 95, 70. Like, it's not the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Slap like an assault vest on this. Physical move pool is like pretty okay too.
Yep.
The downside is this is not Gen 1, so Tauros sucks.
Yeah, Tauros is one of those Pokemon that was really good early, but now has been kind of been power crept out of the game.
Shoutouts to Flair for programming Gen 1 doubles.
Yes. Gyarados.
Gyarados is probably S tier.
You think Gyarados is S tier?
Gyarados is absurd.
Yeah.
It's the second best Intimidate user, and that's saying something because it's still really good.
The downside here is it was really good in like as like a Dynamax option in early Sword and Shield formats. That's not quite the case anymore. You really struggle like to deal damage outside of like Waterfall or power like Rock Slide or things like that because like your only real like physical flying move you have is Bounce.
Which is rather unfortunate, but now we also get Terra Blast. So suddenly we now have a like stab flying type attack.
Yeah, like I don't know if that's what you want to be doing with it, like going to flying.
Probably not, but it is worth noting. You also have access to Dragon Dance, so you can do Moxie things as well.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to be seeing Gyarados do more often anymore is Moxie. Just because you can play this as an offensive Terra type, like, and become this type that your opponent can't deal with, maybe, and kind of just start sweeping through people after a Follow Me Dragon Dance setup, things like that.
You also get, like, Thunder Wave, you get access to Taunt, like, you can technically Bulldoze with this thing as well. You can also Brutal Swing, both of which are ways to proc policies. Surf as well. Surf is probably going to be the more viable one, being off of a base 60 attack as opposed to a base 125 attack.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Gyarados is still really good. There's a reason it has been like one of the best Pokemon for a very long time.
Yeah.
When it comes to, like, just in general, the Gyarados is sick. It's going to continue to be good. I legitimately think Gyarados is like absurd.
Yep. Dragonite.
Dragonite gets a big buff because it loses its 4 times weakness to ice. It also still has Marvel Scale, which is just an absurd ability. Everything we just said about Gyarados being able to be like a physical sweeper with Dragon Dance applies tenfold to Dragonite.
Yeah.
Because Dragonite has an actual like physical move pool that can actually use it.
Dragonite, I think, fits into this category of this is a really good Terra Pokemon, because if you Terra type it and then like weakness policy it, you're not taking a ton from thanks to Marvel Scale. You get to do your weakness policy thing, and
you're also inner focused, so you can ignore Intimidate.
yeah, like there's so many things
like,
you can do. I really think like this is gonna be like one of the best weakness policy setters next to like some kind of Aqua Jet user. You just become a ground type or whatever type like you want to use, as long as you have a priority move to hit you. You could become a ghost type for all you care.
No, you become rock type, so then you're not weak or no, you become fire type, so you're like you resist the ice moves coming into you while still being weak to Aqua Jet.
Or you just like bullet punch yourself and become a fairy type.
That's also true. That is a thing you can do.
Like, there's a lot.
Or you just become a dragon type and just run over people.
Yeah. Like, there's so many good things that Dragonite can do. A lot of these pseudo legends that we're going to talk about today are very, very good going into this format, and they will all probably be at least close to the top of the S tier list.
Yeah, probably. They're all really good, and now they all got a huge buff.
Hisuian Typhlosion.
No, it probably still sucks.
Fire Ghost is a much better typing than just fire.
Yeah, but it's no Chandelure.
I know it has a entirely different move pool because it has access to the ghost type. The entire move pool changed because it is Fire Ghost and not just Fire type anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, these like Hisuian forms I really just don't know much about. So I'm really relying on you to be able to have some kind of information on them, and I don't know, man. I'm not really impressed with like any of the Hisuian starters. I don't think very many. Like I don't think any of them are actually going to be viable. I think they all kind of just suck. Like if you want me to be 100% honest, the only like Hisuian form I'm really excited about is Goodra.
Yeah, Goodra's a really good one.
They made Goodra better, and that's saying something because Goodra is already really good.
I don't remember Typhlosion's base stats. Hisuian Typhlosion has a base special attack of 119.
Yep.
Speed's 95, special defense is 85, defense is 78, 84 attack, and 73 HP.
As opposed to regular Typhlosion, where 78, 84, 78, 109, 85, 100. I don't know why I had to look it up. It's the same as Charizard.
Yeah, it's Typhlosion. Regular Typhlosion is the same as Charizard, but I couldn't remember all the numbers exactly. So Hisuian Typhlosion, on top of getting Ghost typing, has a little bit more special attack, so that might matter. Which is cool, is you still get all of the like moves that regular Typhlosion gets on top of the ghost things that you would get being a ghost type.
I don't know. I think it kind of sucks.
I think it would be cool.
Call me a hater. I know it to be true. Ampharos is cool. It's probably not good.
Yeah, Ampharos is one of these Pokemon that we wish was really, really good, but it never is because its abilities just hold it back.
It just doesn't do anything, and that's really unfortunate. It gets static and plus.
Yeah.
If they give it Mold Breaker as a hidden ability instead of plus, I'd be all over it.
Yeah, give it a different hidden ability, and I think this thing pops off.
Give it its stats of its Mega. Its Mega's like really freaking good.
Well,
dude.
its Mega's also is Electric Dragon, so.
Oh my lord. Just stats across the board except for speed. Oh no. My slow Pokemon's slower.
Azumarill.
Azu's great. It's absurd.
I think it's a solid A.
It gets very good abilities. It has access to Belly Drum. It has huge power, which of course you can abuse in 100 different ways. It has access to Priority Aqua Jet, so you can actually proc policies with it.
Yep.
You're able to be a sweeper. You're able to be a support Pokemon with like Parasong Sap Sipper. It does everything, man. Azu's great, and I absolutely love this little thing.
We're hoping Misty Explosion comes along.
And like even if it doesn't, it's still just fine.
Yep. Sudowoodo.
Sudowoodo sucks.
Yeah, you get to fight one against the grass gym leader. He turns it into a grass type. That's not. I don't think it's gonna help it any.
Probably not.
The fake tree finally becomes a real tree.
Jump Off is really cool. We get access to chlorophyll, which is saying something because we're already base 110 speed. So you're the fastest chlorophyll sleep powder Pokemon. The downside is you're absurdly frail at 75, 70, 95. Oh, actually, hold on now.
Yeah, you're not as frail as you think you are, bub.
You also get Rage Powder. We don't get Spore, but we do get Sleep Powder.
You have access
we get
to your
Encore, Leech Seed, Strength Sap. Hold on now.
Yeah, there's some cool things that those Pokemon can do.
Jump Love kinda nutty.
Yeah. There's a lot that this Pokemon can actually do, especially in these non-Dynamax formats. Again, this could be a potential for another one of those terrestrialization, but maybe defensively as a support Pokemon. Because I feel like the longer Jumpluff sits on the battlefield, the better it is going to be for you. Things like Rage Powder is really good. You have access to Growl. You have access to Helping Hand.
You played BDSP. How good was this thing?
Oh, we didn't play it because it just got blown up by Fake Out.
Well, that's unfortunate. You also get Leaf Guard, which is not very relevant. You also get Infiltrator, which is more for like singles.
Yeah.
But like Infiltrator is still a really cool ability and like can be viable on non-Sun teams. Like if you want to play this thing,
a lot of what Jumpluff does the chlorophyll thing, kind of just like this mix of support plus a little bit of damage mixed in. You have access to Synthesis to be really bulky.
You can do like Substitute Swords Dance, like Facade, and then do we get a physical grass move?
I don't think so. Oh, we get Bullet Seed.
Do we get a good physical grass move?
No.
Okay, got it. Great, thanks. We get Acrobatics, so like,
yeah,
at least we get some stab move.
Sunflora.
Oh, hold on. We get Seed Bomb.
Oh, yeah, we do, don't we?
Alright, this thing's better than I thought it was. Yeah, Jumpluff is sick.
Jumpluff is probably solid B tier Pokemon.
Yep.
Sunflora, get down in D tier. No one likes
it. Yeah, it's really bad. Good talk. Give it Drought and then come back and talk to me.
I wouldn't give it Drought. It's got solar power.
It's a Sun Pokemon. Give it Drought and it still would be bad.
It's only bad because it's base 30 speed.
Base 30 speed with like minuscule bulk.
Base 30 speed, but has chlorophyll. Quagsire.
This thing sucks. Quagsire's sick.
Quagsire's probably
it's like a solid C.
Like it's
not
like
very good.
Low
but it's
C.
So funny.
It's like high C, low B, because if the format becomes based around like doing stat boost things, like Quagsire becomes really really good. Obviously we know regional Wooper is in the game, but we don't know if it evolves into Quagsire or not.
So fun fact for you. The regular Wooper, like the Johto Wooper that was in our trailer, was evidently an error.
It was.
So we don't even know if Quagsire is in the game, like in any capacity. So
the idea here is like in most games, if you can get one, you can get the regional form. So if regular
Quagsire is fine. It's not very good, but God, do I love it.
Yeah. Unaware is just a really good ability.
You only threw on the like relevant evolutions, right? So
yeah.
Umbreon, Sylveon.
Sylveon.
Umbreon is absolutely okay in regular like limited dex formats, and it gets like a really big boost in restricted formats for some reason. I've never understood why it suffers in like regular dex formats, but Umbreon's a good Pokemon. It's absurdly bulky. It does a lot of things, having access to like Yawn, Baby Doll Eyes, Snarl. leftovers, moonlight. It does a lot that really annoys your opponent.
Yep.
It's really good at being a wall.
Forterris. This thing
is Pharaoh Seed in the game?
I don't, not that I know of.
Alright, then this is like your best steel type wall.
That we know of.
It was really good, and then Ferrothorn came around, so it's a really good singles Pokemon in the event that we don't get Ferrothorn. Otherwise, it's not very good for like VGC purposes. I say that. Hold on. Alright, no Rage Powder. I give up.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have Rage Powder.
For
Overcoat,
some reason, I thought it did.
It has Overcoat, though.
It also has Sturdy.
Sturdy's not that great. Overcoat's what makes this thing really good.
Also gets Gyro Ball.
If they gave it Body Press, this thing would be nuts.
Well, it's not in the game, so unfortunately...
We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing.
Yep. Probably a low C, high D, somewhere in there.
I'd throw it in D. It's probably not very good.
Scizor.
Scizor is really good.
Is it S tier good, or is it, what is it?
I think there is an argument for S tier.
So,
and part of that is because this thing has been historically very good. The downside is now, much like Hidden Power was the bane of Scizzor's existence previously, everything can now potentially have coverage for it.
Yeah, you can become a fire type on the spot, but the flip side is now you no longer have to be 4 times weak to fire.
Correct. You can now resist fire by becoming a fire type yourself.
Yeah.
Or whatever else. Yeah, just... yeah, Scizor is really good. Unfortunately, if you do that, you do lose your, like, stab bullet punch, which is, like, kind of what makes Scizor really good, is, like, stab technician sword stance boosted bullet punch. Yeah, Scissor's really good.
Yeah.
I really don't have more to say than go watch any format that this thing is legal in and watch how good it's been.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it kind of fell off in Dynamax formats because it couldn't really abuse Dynamax itself.
Yeah, when you take away the fact that, like, Technician is why it's good, Pokemon with the Technician just don't do well in the Dynamax format because everything's super duper boosted power-wise. And it doesn't look at the base power of the move, it looks at what the current power of the move is. And when they Dynamax and your base power becomes 120 or whatever, you don't get your Technician boost. So Pokemon like this become terrible. Houndoom.
Bring back Mega Houndoom.
I don't even know what Houndoom does.
Mega Houndoom gets solar power and a base 140 attack, 115 speed. Regular Houndoom's really bad, and its best ability is Unnerve. So, 110 special attack, 95 speed. Your bulk is really bad with 75, 50, 80. Yeah, Houndoom sucks, man. It is by far, like, one of the worst fire types we've seen.
Donphan.
Does Donphan get battle armor?
I have no clue.
No, it gets Sturdy and Sandvale. Alright, this thing kind of sucks.
Base 90 HP, base 120 attack, base 120 defense, 60 at special attack, 60 special defense, 50 speed.
Donphan's really good in the Egg Lock, so, like, I want to say this thing's good, but this is a singles Pokemon. It gets access to, like, Rapid Spin, it gets priority in Ice Shard, it gets really good coverage in all actuality. The problem is like, it doesn't really do anything.
Yep.
And that kind of sucks, because I really want this thing to be good, but it's just not.
Battle Blissey.
Blunder Policy Blissey's amazing, and I love it.
Unfortunately, no Shuckle here to make this thing good.
We'll find a way, don't worry.
For now, I think Blissey just resides in the D tier.
Yeah, it's not very good for doubles, unfortunately. This is definitely a singles player's nightmare. Tyranitar is absolutely insane. Much like Dragonite, this thing gets absurd when it comes to Terra typing. Plus, Tyranitar's never not been good. So,
yep.
I think there was a stint in Gen 8 where Tyranitar fell to UU for the first time ever, and it quickly was banned out of UU. So like, this thing has been a monster since Gen 2. It is like the epitome of like good rock types. Yeah, this thing's absurd.
Okay, we're gonna keep on the big thing that like what T-Tar does is it sets sand. You get to just sand stream, and that's what makes the T-Tar good, is the fact that you get to set sand, boost your special defense. So the thing you're gonna have to watch for is when you Terra type it to that ghost or whatever thing to avoid your 4x fighting weakness. You got to be real careful because you're going to lose a lot of your extra special bulk going to that ghost type.
Yeah, exactly. It's really, really good.
We're going to stick with the weather theme. Pelipper, Torkoal.
Hey, did you know weather's really good?
Yeah, did you know Pelipper's still really bad?
Did you know that these are the best rain setters? Like, it's the best rain setter, therefore it's okay. The problem is like, comparatively, rain kind of sucks.
It's the only rain setter.
The best thing about rain is it takes away sun and sand.
Yep, that's the best thing about rain is it takes away the other weathers.
Which is also conveniently the best thing you can say about hail.
Yeah.
The big downside to rain currently is we don't really have a good Swift Swim user.
Mm-hmm.
Our best Swift Swim user is like Golduck or Beartic. So like, you know, where I mean, I guess technically we get Float Soul.
Yeah, technically.
Rain kind of sucks currently in this format. Like, if you want me to be honest, I'm really not impressed with it.
Oh, Barraskewda.
Oh yeah, but like that thing is already fast. It doesn't need to go faster.
But if it's the fastest thing, then nothing can outspeed it.
Until they have Tailwind and Scarf, baby.
What's funny is with Barraskewda is you got to do the math to make sure you're still going to outspeed it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
With that. Gardevoir.
Oh, did we talk on Torkoal?
Oh, no, Torkoal's just solid A tier.
Yeah, Torkoal's absurd.
There's nothing to talk about Torkoal. It's solid A tier, 100%.
There might be an argument to make it S tier just because like it's an absurdly good weather setter while also being like very defensive and like being a very good Trick Room sweeper as well. There's a reason these Sun Room teams have been popular since, you know, Series 2, Series 3. It really, the downside to the Sun teams was you're missing a really good Sun Sweeper, and then you had Venusaur come along. Like, Torkoal's great.
Venusaur's the reason these teams did well. Venusaur coming along, being able to have fast mode, slow mode for your Trick Room, Sun Room teams is what made the teams good. Torkoal was fine. Venusaur made it busted.
The other side to that is you didn't have solar powered Charizard until Series 3 either.
Yeah.
So like there was really no reason to play Sun because Charizard just did absurd damage on its own. So I think there's an argument for Torkoal to be S, but I'm happy with it being an A.
The other reason you were playing Sun is because Sun made Rhyperior safer.
True. That
was
true.
Your Trick Room sweeper was Rhyperior. Whereas later on,
do you want to just like hit all the weather setters while we're on this like weather stint?
No, Abomasnow can stay down there.
Okay, what about Hippo though?
Hippo can stay down there too.
All right, that's fair. We'll get to them eventually, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see how we're doing on time. We might have to make this a two-parter.
We legitimately, this might be the first two-part episode in the history of this show.
We've had one before.
Did we?
Yep.
All right, whatever. We're already at an hour. So.
Gardevoir. It's not very good.
No.
In the world of fairy types, this thing kind of got the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Like, your abilities aren't that great. You have really good special attack, really good special defense, decent speed. Your HP's kind of, Like, being base totals, like, under 520 means that you really are struggling as a Gardevoir trying to actually do anything. That being said, you still are Psychic and Fairy. You still have access to all the Psychic stuff, Trick Room, all that great stuff. But I think there's just going to be better Pokemon to do the job that Gardevoir can do for you.
Dude, there's so many Pokemon that are in this game that also have Megas, and it's really scaring me that we're going to get Megas.
I know, right? Like, going through and looking at it, now part of it is because of the fact that a lot of them weren't in Sword and Shield until later.
Yeah.
They added a lot of them back in after.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to put their time in the sun. But yes, a lot of the Megas are are confirmed. Pretty much, like, a lot of the Mega Pokemon that have Mega Evolutions are found in this game. Notably,
Beedrill and Pidgeot.
Sharpedo.
No, that's a Masquerain that's next.
No, there's no Sharpedo.
Oh, who cares?
Well, you were listing off Mega Pokemon that weren't in the game.
Oh, I was naming off Pokemon that I want to see.
Oh. You also were just happy to name off the Pokemon that had Megas that aren't confirmed for the game yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here.
Masquerain sucks. It's a really, really bad Intimidator.
If you are playing a mono bug playthrough and you need an Intimidator, Masquerain's got your back.
Congratulations, your team can beat Masquerain and Fortress, and you'll probably be okay.
Yeah. Congratulations, A-Drive, you have an Intimidator. Breloom.
Breloom is probably like A tier.
This thing is, I know we talked about BDSP just a little bit before, and I was going to try to bring it up with Scizor because Scizor is very popular in that format. Breloom is amazing in the BDSP formats. It requires you to, like, plan for it, because if you don't, it can take over the game pretty quickly.
Yep.
There's a lot that just Breloom gets to do. For those that may not know, there was this thing called Poison Heal that means that you can play Toxic Orb on your Breloom and you just get to heal every turn.
Do we have Gliscor back?
Not that I'm aware of.
Damn.
But Breloom's really, really cool. You also have access to Technician, and you have Technician Bullet Seed, you have Technician Mach Punch. There's a lot of cool things that Breloom gets to abuse as Technician, and with its base 130 attack stat. It's just like another version of Scizor. This is also another one of those Pokemon that gets to swap away from its 4x weakness if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Into maybe a Steel type. And
yeah,
you're knocking out
okay.
like your flying weakness, your fairy weakness. You have really good.
You do maintain your fire weakness, which kind of sucks. But...
Yeah, but most of the time you're going to be able to you're going to still probably have a weakness if you're trying to dodge one or the other.
You could go to dark and keep your gain a bug weakness.
You gain bug and you keep fairy.
And I guess you're weak to fighting then too.
Yep. It'll be super interesting once we get into this game, trying to figure out the best Terra types for certain teams. It'll be so much fun. I'm super excited. Slacking. We don't have Wheezing.
Do we get Whimsicott?
Nope.
Do we have any way of changing its abilities outside of really gimmicky things?
Not that I'm aware of.
Alright, it probably sucks.
I mean, someone's gonna figure out something to do with it. Skill swap or something, but...
I'm not gonna be that person.
Harry Yama.
This thing's really good.
It
bulky, good fake out user. It does a lot.
Guts.
You have
fake out.
you get guts. You also get thick fat, which is also relevant.
There's not a bad quality about Hariyama that I can think of that's just this thing is terrible, don't play it.
Your defenses are kind of lackluster at 60s, but you also have a base 144 HP. It's it actually makes up for it as opposed to Wigglytuff, which is just Garbo.
Yeah.
You also have a good typing and mono fighting. You have relevant abilities. All three of your abilities are actually relevant.
Yeah.
You're a very good Trick Room set partner because you're able to fake out whatever counter they have to it, and then set up Trick Room. This is something that we saw a lot in BDSP.
Yeah.
Hariyama is very, very good. I am very excited to have it back because this is something I haven't ever got to play with, and I'm excited to see how it does.
Playing with it in BDSP just made me love this Pokemon even more. Hariyama was on my first playthrough of Gen 3 Pokemon team, and it was great there. So I'm super excited to have this Pokemon back. It is one of my favorite, like, fighting type Pokemon to play with. Your move pool is super deep. There's so much you can do with this thing. Bullet Punch, Knock Off. The move pool on this Pokemon is super great. And just having something like Hariyama where you can be Guts, Thick Fat, or Sheer Force can kind of leave your opponent guessing, trying to figure out which one you are. Sableye. I think Sableye is our best prankster user in the game at the moment.
Is it the only prankster user so far?
It's the only one so far, yes. Unless you want to count Murkrow, because Murkrow is not on this list, but
Murkrow is the only prankster Tailwind Pokemon we know about so far. So prankster Tailwind's really good. It probably gets a buff for that. Sableye is also prankster speed control in the form of Quash.
You also have Will-O-Wisp on Sableye. You're immune to Fake Out.
You get Foul Play. You get Encore?
Yes, I think so. No, I don't think you get Encore anymore.
It did at one point in its life.
I don't know if you get it anymore. You might be able to get it still. I'm not sure. Sucker Punch is really good. You have Trick, I think, still.
Historically, you've gotten access to Knockoff. I don't know if it still does. I don't think it does. Prankster Recover is very good. Shadow Sneak is very good. Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, Ally Switch,
Swagger. There's a lot to like about Sableye. Oh yeah, it's also our weather, like prankster weather setters too, like Rain Dance, Sunny Day,
Helping Hand, Icy Wind, Leer.
Sableye's really good. Who knew?
Sableye's really great.
Mawile.
Unfortunately, it's kind of frail, but like.
I mean, you can make Sableye bulky. Yeah, like you can make Sableye bulky. That's not a problem. And if you're worried about it getting O-code, you just play Sash.
Yep.
Mawile on the opposite end of the
spectrum. You play like Babiri Berry, you can play Citrus. Yeah, this thing's great.
Like, Mawile's not great. You may have gotten bodied at RTT by it, but in the context
You can't prove that. You literally can, but you can't prove that.
But to say, go back like a week and a half or so, or however long it is. It's on YouTube. You can go find it. Link is up above us right now in the little iCard. Go get it. Mawile, in the context of VGC, is just not very good.
Yeah, it sucks. Bring back Mega Mawile and then we'll talk.
I think it's still a better Intimidator than Masquerain, but...
Only because it has a better typing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Medicham is hot.
Okay, so Medicham is something I actually when I went through my first Gen 3 run, I was like, do I play with Medicham? Do I play with Hariyama? I liked Hariyama more. I haven't ever actually played a game through with Medicham on my team. Playing BDSP, I found out that this thing is hilarious and it's gross.
Base 60 attack, which of course is doubled. Notably, that is... How is that compared to Azumarill? Azumarill is base 50.
Yeah.
So you're technically more powerful than Azu.
You only have 2 weaknesses in... No, 3 weaknesses.
Your bulk is worse than Azumarill, but you're also faster. You also have a really unique typing in Fighting Psychic.
Yeah, your weaknesses
especially as a physical attacker is very cool.
Your weaknesses are Flying, Fairy, and Ghost.
You also get Fake Out.
Yeah. You're another Fake Out mon. Now, I don't think it's as good as Hariyama in terms of just like being like this all-around bulky thing. This is very much you're a pure power Pokemon 100% of the time. Your opponent's going to know this. and can probably easily blow you up accordingly because you're all offense and no defense.
Did you know Mega Medicham has a base attack of 100 with pure power?
Yes. That's what made the Mega really good.
Is that just like absurd to anyone else or just me? You also have base 100 speed.
You got Zen Headbutt and Psycho Cut as physical psychic moves, which are really good. You have access to High Jump Kick as fighting coverage, if you want that.
You also get Drain Punch and Power Up Punch as well.
Yep. Drain Punch is good for like an AV set if you're something you're looking for.
You get Bullet Punch as well.
Yep.
You get Facade so you can like ignore burns. Rock Slide. You get the Elemental Punches. Yep, all three of them.
You get all three of them. Yeah, this thing's pretty good. I think it'd be a solid A tier Pokemon. It's kind of just like a second Azumarill.
Yeah. I think Azu's probably better because it gets to do shenanigans with like weakness policies and stuff, whereas Medicham really doesn't. But Medicham is really unique where it also gets like Low Sweep and Rock Tomb. So it's cool.
Yeah.
So are we going to talk about Swalot?
I don't remember what Swalot does. It was another one of these Pokemon
sucks.
that I played with in my first playthrough because I thought it was cool.
Its abilities are Liquid Ooze,
Sticky Hold, and Gluttony.
Gluttony.
So, is this a Belly Drum Pokemon?
Yes.
No. Not yet, anyway.
It gets Destiny Bond. That's about the best thing this thing has going for it.
Pain Split. Encore.
Acid Spray.
Yawn.
Gastro Acid.
Weird.
Poison Gas.
Does Gastro Acid work on slacking? Because that'd be how you do it.
Yes.
Like there's your... Oh, you get to do Dream Eater things. Oh, that's nasty.
What is Slicking's ability?
Truant. Oh, you get to do Nightmare too. That's hilarious.
Yes, it does work.
Oh, there you go. That is nasty. You get to do like you can do like Nightmare, Yawn, Dream Eater things. That's hilarious. This Pokemon is hilarious. It's not very good.
It's not good.
It's hilarious though.
It's better than Wigglytuff.
I will say yes. It is probably better than Wigglytuff. Camerupt.
Give it Mech, it's Mega, and then we'll actually talk about Camerupt.
Camerupt. Magma Armor and Solid Rock. That's not bad.
Solid Rock is really good.
In a format where you're not getting OHKO'd 100% of the time, like Solid Rock actually means you survive a lot more hits.
This is also a Pokemon that really benefits from removing its 4 times weakness.
Man, could you imagine you Terra type weakness policies on this thing, you have Solid Rock, so you're taking reduced damage anyway, then you just get to slap it with an Earthquake. Slap everything just with Earthquake and just blow things up. Like, your base 100 attack, and that's nothing like sad to be sad about there.
Yeah, 100 attack, 105 special attack. Which is really unfortunate that that's how this thing is statted, where it just guarantees loses 100 points in its base stats. Like, the fact that obviously you're never going to build a like mixed attacker. I say never, but like typically speaking, you don't want to.
With the Solid Rock weakness policy thing, you could get away with it.
Yeah, probably.
Your other option is Anger Point, which is really...
You also get Yawn, you get Will-O-Wisp.
You're just really slow for those kinds of moves.
I mean, Torkoal can abuse, like, both of them, actually.
Torkoal also has much better defense stats.
You do, yes. Yes, you do.
Like, Torkoal does that because it can. Whereas, if you're trying to do that with your camera up, I think you're better off just, like Yawn is fine. I don't think you're trying to do will-o-wisp things.
And I really wish that like Solid Rock just like reduced all damage coming into it.
Yeah.
As opposed to just super effective. Like the problem is like because you have access to terrestrialization, you're able to take away your big weaknesses. So like Solid Rock's really not beneficial there, even though you're technically gaining more weaknesses. It's just, I don't know, man. It kind of sucks.
It's weird, right? It's one of those weird spots where it's like it could be really, really good. Like you could Solid Rock turn this thing into a Steel type, Mach Punch it. Now its weakness policy is activated, hits Earthquake, deals massive damage. Like that's a line that it can do. So there's something to Camerupt. I think it's going to be fine. There's going to be somebody playing with it because it's Camerupt. People love this Pokemon. I don't know why, but they love it. Grumpig, get out of here.
Yeah, it sucks, right? Like it just doesn't do anything.
I don't remember it doing anything ever. I know people played with it in BDSP for a little bit, but
Thick Fat Own Tempo Gluttony.
yeah, like your stat line's terrible for the most part.
110 special defense is nothing to scoff at. It's also way faster than I envisioned.
The problem is you're not doing anything with it.
No, you're very bad.
Like, you have a ton of physical moves and 45 attack.
What does our special move pool look like?
It's not very deep.
Energy Ball, Power Gem, Psyshock, Shadow Ball, Signal Beam. Charge Beam's kind of cool. Too bad it sucks. Icy Wind. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Like, compared that to your physical pool, where you have Brick Break, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, Seismic Head, Zen Headbutt, Seismic Toss, Iron Tail, Focus Punch. Like, you have Dynamic Punch, you have Bulldoze, you have Bounce. Like, there's so many good physical moves that Grumpig gets, but can't abuse because of its base 45 attack.
Let's see. Status moves, we get Heal Bell, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
Taunt, T-Wave, Trick Room, Ally Switch, Rain Dance, Sunny Day, Teeter Dance.
Oh, God.
Splash.
Cacturn, get out of here, you're bad.
It's really bad.
Wishcash, you too.
Can you scroll down for me real quick?
What?
I'm trying to think if, like, cutting off at Gen 3 would be
Yeah, that's
fine.
kind of where I was thinking. Like, we're going to get to Salamence
Okay,
and then
cool,
probably
cool,
stop
cool.
for the day and get
Cool.
everybody out of here.
So, yeah, we'll bust through these last little bit, and then, yeah, it'll be fine. Cool.
Zangoose is cool. Don't think it's going to do much.
Man, I want Zangoose to be so cool.
Seviper, same category. Give it Intimidate, you cowards.
Like, Toxic Boost is actually a really unique ability. You also have base 115 attack. Oh, man, the problem is like, you have to hold Toxic Orb to make this thing viable.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, because of that, you're also just going to be, like, ticking down your... Like, if Toxic Boost made you immune to poison damage while giving you the boost, it'd be very good.
Yeah.
Like, granted, then, like, it's just worse guts. Like,
Yeah.
It's just specifically poison guts.
Yep. Okay, so we're trying to get wrapped up here, so we're going to stop here at Gen 3. I put Seviper, Zangoose, Tropius, Glalie, Wishcast, Cacturn, all in D. They're not very good. Of those 5, I think Glalie has got the most upside just because of what it's got a better base stat than most Pokemon listed there, but
Glalie sucks.
it's still not very good. Frostlass is the much better option. We'll get to that next time.
Glalie does get moody.
Yeah, that's about all it can do, though.
Yeah.
Altaria is a solid B tier Pokemon. Cloud9's really good. Like, you still have that 4 times weakness to ice, but you also have decent coverage. Like, you have Dazzling Gleam, you have Dragon Dance if you want to do that. Like your attack and special attack are equal, so you could be physical or special and get away with it probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it still gets Tailwind or not. If it does end up getting Tailwind,
I don't know.
If it does end up getting Tailwind, that's cool. If it doesn't, oh well. This thing gets Perish Song. That's really, really good. Yeah, there's a lot that Altaria can do. It's just not that great right now. I think its best thing is like being able to turn off weather with Cloud9. And so if weather's really good, Altaria might be fine to play on teams, especially since you can terrestrialize it.
Yeah, that's true.
Other dragon flying type Salamence here goes into S tier. It's just really good.
Hey, who knew? Dragon flying pseudo legends are very powerful, especially when they're paired with the best ability in the game.
Yeah, when you slap Intimidate on these things, it's really good. Okay. Let's go back to our beautiful faces.
Hey, look at that, my face.
Hey, look at that. We're back. This concludes part 1. We did not expect this to be a really long thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This was way longer than I anticipated. But yeah, this has been fun. I'm very excited. I am very excited to continue this next week.
Yeah, it'll be next week. But this episode's already almost an hour and a half long. It is time to get out of here.
And I'm starting to lose my voice.
Yeah,
so,
same. I don't have a drink anymore, so it's like we're just
like I've been chugging water and I feel like I'm still losing my voice.
Take us on out of here, bub.
So, as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening over here on YouTube. If you're listening on any of the audio platforms, go ahead and leave us that 5-star review. It really does help us out. And go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when new stuff goes live every week, every Monday on the audio platforms, and on YouTube 4 times a week. So, past that, you can always go follow us on Twitter at LR Lessons, myself at at Mr. Missouri 25, Carl's at Musical VGC. You can follow myself and Carl over on Twitch as well at Mr. Missouri 25 and at Musical. Come and hang out in the community Discord where you can hang out with us, playing all our events going on and everything, and tell us why our tier list is bad and all that good stuff. Of course, you can always do that in the comments, and that helps us there too, so that'd be cool. So, tell us why we're bad and we suck at this. Past that, you can always head over to the website lrlessons.com. You can check out everything that we have up on there, as well as check out the merch page, which really does go to support us, and you get really sweet merch out of the deal as well.
Yep.
If merch isn't your thing, but you still want to support the show, you can always do that over at Anchor for as little as 20 or 25 cents an episode. And I think that's it. I think I'm ready to go before I actually lose my voice.
Yep, I think you covered everything there.
Cool. That is going to be it, everyone. Thank you so much as always. And we'll see you next week with some more of the tier list. So have a good one. Peace.